Hello and welcome back to Animated Literacy. This is lesson number 18 from the Story Song and Action book. And in this lesson, we're going to be reviewing apples and bananas and vowel sounds that we worked on in our last lesson. And then we're also going to be introducing Daisy Dragon's complete story and her song and her gesture. So we started out last time, we were doing our song for apples and bananas. So let's do a little bit of that. I like to eat. Eat. Your turn. I like to eat. Apples and bananas. Apples and bananas. I like to eat. Apples and bananas. And then if we start doing that with our characters, instead of singing I, we can sing the name of the character. And that way everything can be mixed up any way we want to, and we'll have the character to cue us to what sound we're working on. So here's Uncle Upton, and what's his sound? He's pointing up. Uncle likes to ut. Apples and bananas. Your turn. Uncle likes to ut. Apples and bananas. Now if we have Ollie Ostrich, what's his sound? Ah! So here's Ollie's verse. Ollie likes to ot. Apples and bananas. Ollie likes to ot. Apples and bananas. What's our gesture for Abe? Here's Abe skating to the bay, so put yourself on top of your wheel. Make your circle with one hand. Go on top with your other hand. Go down the hill and go, hey! Abe likes to eat. Apples and bananas. Your turn. Abe likes to eat. Apples and bananas. Now we can start to change it around to different kinds of foods. And we talked about last time, as we're beginning to change our song, we need to be able to determine how many syllables are in a word or how many parts are in a word. And one way to do that is with the old song, Head and Shoulders, Knees and Toes. And here's a version of that song in a book that we can use, and this is in a cardboard book, so it's nice and durable, and it's written by Jill Weber. You can also find a version of this song on Skybrary, so if you've subscribed to that, this is Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, and it's by Tracy Todd. Okay, so let's do Head and Shoulders, Knees, and Toes real quick. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. So we're going to use that to count syllables. So head is 1, shoulders is 2, knees 3, and toes 4. Okay? So now as we take things out of the old lady, and we talked about last time using the old lady who swallowed a fly in connection with apples and bananas, because this is a story about eating really silly things. And in apples and bananas, we're taking those foods and making them into very silly foods. And I showed you some adaptations or some different versions of that. Here's another version of it that comes in a nice cardboard book. And this one is called There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed the Sea. And it's from Child's Play, and it's written by Pam Adams. And it starts out like this. There was an old lady who swallowed a fish. She didn't wish to swallow a fish. She swallowed the fish as she swam in the sea. Merrily she swam in the sea. Oh no, dear me. And it keeps going on and on with a crab that goes after the fish and various animals, just like in the old lady who swallowed a fly. So now, this old lady swallowed a bunch of things. Let's see what she has swallowed. And if you don't have an old lady, you can just use a bag or something else to be your old lady, or you could use a different kind of a puppet. So our old lady swallowed an egg, and she swallowed a potato. So let's count how many syllables in each of those. So say the word egg, egg, 1 syllable. Say the word potato, potato, 3 syllables. So we're going to have to use our vowel sound once in egg and 3 times in potato. So let's switch to another. Here's actress Annie. Remember, she's adding, so everybody show me an addition sign. Annie likes to at, eggs and patatas. So every time you make that sound, make your gesture. Annie likes to at, eggs and patatas. Now let's try it with another character. So here's Old Joe Crow. And remember, we have Old Joe Crow rowing his boat home. So reach out with your oars, pull back, and give a great big groan. Oh! And what do you think his egg is going to be? Oh! And what is his potato going to be? Po-to-to. Say that after me. Po-to-to. So now let's put it into our song. And we've got Joe likes to oat, oat, oat. Ogs and potatoes. Joe likes to oat, oat, oat. Ogs and potatoes. Well, let's try a couple more things and see how it goes. Oh, my old lady swallowed a fly, just like the one in the book. And she also swallowed some watermelon. So let's see how many syllables are in each of those. So everybody say fly. How many? Only 1. How many syllables in watermelon? Watermelon. 4. Okay. So fly has the vowel at the end. So if Irving eats a fly, and his sound, turn your scooter, go is he's going to eat a fleur. And if he eats a watermelon, it's not going to say watermelon. It's 4 times. Learn. Try that. Learn. Now let's see if we can do it in the song. Irving likes to ert, fleurs and learns. Again, Irving likes to ert, fleurs and learns. So we could keep going with all of our different vowel sounds with that. Now we're going to be introducing a new character today, and every time we introduce something new, we have to glue the new information to what? To the old information that's stored in our head. So we have several topics that we can talk about. So I'll introduce those topics here, and you can stop the tape or do it afterwards. You can talk to your parent or to your teacher, whoever you're doing the lesson with. And the first topic we're going to talk about is dancing. And I really like this character because there are so many good books to go with it. And remember, when we're learning to read, there's 2 things we have to know. One is sounds, and then we need to learn the letters that spell those sounds. And the other is we need to understand books and learn vocabulary. And the only way to do that is to hear lots of wonderful books. Well, one of our topics is going to be dragons, because Daisy, our character, is a dragon. And this is a wonderful book about dragons, and it's called There's No Such Thing as a Dragon. And this dragon in this book starts out really tiny, but everybody keeps not noticing it and pretending it's not there because there's no such thing as a dragon. Well, every time the dragon hears that, it gets a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger until finally this dragon is so enormous that they have to admit that there is a dragon. This is a book about a dragon tamer, and he ends up saying goodnight to the dragon, and the dragon, instead of being a scary dragon, becomes a very tame dragon. There are also in Skybrary, there are some nice books about dragons. This is one that you can get on Skybrary that's called No Dragons for Tea. So if you invited a dragon to tea, what do you think might happen? And this is another one about me and my dragon that you can read from Skybrary. The second topic that's going to be in our lesson today is dancing. And we've already done one book about dancing. When we were doing our verbs for Skip to My Lou, we read the book Barnyard Dance. And you could actually do a square dance to this book. So say it after me and do what it tells you to do. Ready? Stomp your feet, clap your hands, clap your hands. Everybody ready for a barnyard dance. Everybody ready for a barnyard dance. Bow to the horse, bow to the horse, bow to the cow, bow to the cow. Twirl with the pig if you know how. And so this book keeps going with all kinds of wonderful verbs that tell you things to do. This is a favorite of mine, and it's called Dance Away. And this is written by George Shannon. And it starts like this. Rabbit loved to dance. He danced in the morning and he danced at noon. He danced at night with the stars and the moon. Every time he danced, he smiled a big smile. Everywhere he danced, he sang a dancing song. Left, 2, 3, kick. Right, 2, 3, kick. Left skip, right skip, turn around. And so if you read this book, you can learn his song, and it comes up many times. This is kind of a mysterious book written by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault called Barn Dance, and that's one of my favorites. And it sounds like this. Full moon shining big and bright, pushing back the shadows, hold back the night. Not a thing stirring, quiet as could be, just a whisper in the leaves on the cottonwood tree. And there's the cottonwood tree. Almost a little bit scary, isn't it? Old hound dog, whining in his sleep, dreaming of rabbits in a game of hide and seek. We played hide and seek with Skip to My Lou, didn't we? Over in the farmhouse, all the lights were out. Farmer and his wife and kids, not a one about. And if you read this book, you'll find out about a barn dance. This is another book about dancing. There's just so many good books about this. And it's called Twist with the Burger, Jitter with the Bug. And all of these have a wonderful rhythm to them that gets into that muscle memory system that helps you learn the books. And so these are ones you might memorize and then use your flashlight to read yourself to sleep with. Dance a mamba, snap to a rap. Put on your cleats and tap, tap, tap. Jig to the music, sway to the tune. And as you go through, you'll hear a lot of different kinds of dances. So we have dragons, we have dancing, and a third, we also have some Skybridge books on dancing. And this is One Little Chicken, and so it's a counting book, but it's also a dancing book. And this is the first couple pages in that book. The first page reads, 1 chicken twirls like a top, 2 chickens do the bunny hop, 3 chickens practice their ballet. And if you read that on Skybridge, you find out what 4 chickens do. And here's a book that it's not such a rhythmic dancing one, but it's called My Friend Myra Loves to Dance. And so you can learn some more about dancing there. So we have dragons to talk about. And what do you know about dragons? We have dancing, and you can show what you know about dancing. And our third topic is dairies. And dairies are where milk comes from. And the milk at the dairy comes from a cow. So this is called The Milk Makers by Gail Gibbons. And it tells us about a dairy and where milk comes from. And this is a similar book from Skybrary called Cows on the Farm. And if you read those, you can find out about how to take care of a cow and how the cow is milked. And here's a picture of a little girl milking the cow, and you can see she has a bucket down here, and she's helping the cow to squirt into the bucket. And there's a lot of really good foods that come from a dairy. And so here's a picture of some of the things that we get from the cows and make out of the milk. So here's the milk here that we can drink. And here's some cheese, 2 different kinds of cheese that are made from milk. And here's butter that's made from milk. Here's ice cream that's made from milk. And here's some yogurt, or this is cottage cheese made out of the milk. And over here is some yogurt. And we also get cream. And so you can whip that up, and you can make whipping cream and put it on top of a pie or a cake or on top of ice cream. So we have dragons, we have dancing, we have dairies, and our 4th topic is dates. And here I have a little dish of dates. And dates come from palm trees. And so here's a very tall palm tree. And you can see where there's some things hanging from the palm tree. And this is what they're hanging from. And so these are all dates. And most of the time when you see dates in the store, they've been dried. And so you can see, like raisins, these have all shriveled up. They're sticky though, they don't feel dry, but they're not plump the way they are when they're ripe. And here they've been made into Date Delight ice cream. And so you can see the dark dates in the light colored ice cream. Well, this is our character we're going to be talking about today, and this is Daisy Dragon. And Daisy Dragon loves Date Delight ice cream. Fortunately for Daisy Dragon, there's a dairy near where she lives. And she can earn dishes of Date Delight ice cream by going to the dairy and doing lots of entertaining and difficult and daring dances. So one day, she was at the dairy, and here she is dancing around and clapping her hands and moving up and down. And she got so carried away with her dancing that when they brought her her dish of Date Delight ice cream, she'd been turning around and around in circles so much that she got really dizzy, and suddenly she fell down and she dropped her dish of Date Delight ice cream. Now she had brought with her to the dairy that day her pets. And Daisy Dragon had pet ducks, and she had pet dogs. Well, as soon as the pets saw that Daisy Dragon had dropped her dish of Date Delight ice cream, they raced over to the Date Delight and devoured it immediately. Well, now you might think Daisy Dragon was very disappointed that all of her Date Delight ice cream had been eaten up by her pet dogs and ducks. But she wasn't disappointed at all. Instead, she just got up, stood on her nose, and did her most difficult and daring dance, and the people at the dairy brought her a brand new dish of Date Delight ice cream to celebrate her dancing. So whenever you think of Daisy Dragon, I want you to think of dancing, and you can move your hands about like this, or you can move them up and down like this, and show me dancing and go, duh. Now, if we put Daisy Dragon's song into Are You Sleeping, it would sound like this. Are you dancing? Are you dancing? Daisy Dragon, Daisy Dragon. Daisy's bells are saying, Daisy's bells are saying, ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding. Well, that didn't change it at all. So let's try Daisy's cats. Are you dancing? Are you dancing? Daisy Dragon, Daisy Dragon. Daisy's cats are saying, Daisy's cats are saying, deow, 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 deow. So there we had to take the away from meow, put in the duh, and what did we get? Deow. And if we put that into My Puppy, it would sound like this. Little puppy, he goes bark, bark, bark. Daisy's puppy, he goes dark, dark, dark. Little kitten, she says meow, meow, meow. Daisy's kitten, she says meow, meow, meow. And Daisy has a song, just like all of our characters. So I want you to warm your muscles up, and we're going to learn Daisy Dragon's song. And it's to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star that you probably know. So show me dancing first and sing this back to me. Daisy Dragon likes to dance. Daisy Dragon likes to dance. Dance and dine on date delight. Dance and dine on date delight. Dainty polka dotted D's. Show me how you can make a D. I'm going to make a stick up like this, and then I'm going to put my circle next to it and go, so there's my D, but you can make your D any way you want. Dainty polka dotted D's. Dainty polka dotted D's. Now dangling is like this. Dangle from, and Daisy's diaper is on her hips, so show me your hips. Dangle from Daisy's diaper. Dangle from Daisy's diaper. Show me dining again, or eating. Daisy dines on date delight. Daisy dines on date delight. Now remember our picture of our little girl who is milking the cow. And so here she is holding on to the cow's udder and pulling down so that the milk can squirt out. So we'll pretend like we're milking at the Dragonville Dairy. Now let's see if we can do that with our tape recording. And this time I'll go ahead and do the gestures with you while our tape is going. So everybody show me ready to dance. Daisy Dragon likes to dance. Dance and dine on date delight. Dainty polka dotted D's. Dangle from Daisy's diaper. Daisy dines on date delight at the Dragonville Dairy. And what's our sound for Daisy Dragon? Duh. So now when you get your picture of Daisy Dragon, I want you to think about the 4 topics that we talked about and choose one that you want to draw a picture of or write about on the back of your paper. So here's our capital or large D, so you can rainbow write over that. And here's our small d. Then when you turn it over on the back, our first topic was dragons. So you can draw me a picture of a dragon and what you know about dragons and what that dragon might be doing, and then you can write a sentence about it, or you can tell me what it's doing and I'll write the sentence for you, and you can trace over the top of it or write it down below and read it back to me. Our second topic was dancing. So you can tell me about a time that you've danced or what you think about dancing, and if you enjoy dancing and who might dance with you. Our third topic was about the dairy. So maybe you want to tell me about your favorite food that comes from a dairy. Maybe it's cheese, maybe it's ice cream or yogurt or cottage cheese or whipping cream. So you can tell me about your favorite thing from the dairy. And then finally, we talked about dates. So you can tell me if you've ever eaten dates before and if you like the dates or if you don't. Some people really like dates and some people don't care for dates at all. And a lot of people take dates and they make it into fruitcake. So if you've ever eaten fruitcake, you've probably had some dates. So thank you very much for joining me. And when you do your work on the back of your paper, be sure that you either write the sentence or your mom or your teacher comes and you can tell them your sentence. They can write it, and then you can trace or rainbow write over the top, and then you can try writing it underneath. So I hope to see you in our next lesson. Thank you for joining me.